can actually use the machine to wind your fitting on as well. Just lock your steel sins against the side. Just make sure you don't over tighten it. That's taking it to the next level of laziness, that is, Harry. I think it's quicker to do it manually. Right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Something a little bit different today. We're on a commercial site. It's actually an AD plan. I'll show you what we're going to be doing and I'll explain some of the processes along the way, but I'll try and keep things as simple as possible to not confuse anybody. What we've got to do, we've had this is effectively, it's a pasteuriser, but it's effectively a cylinder. Inside of here is a coil, so we've got to get a flow and return like a domestic cylinder, but obviously on a larger scale. We've got to get a flow and return round to the engine room. I'll show you that round, or the CHP unit. What we're doing this in is a 2-inch steel, which is all around there. So at the top we'll have to put an air tap. We're going to put a valve on there, air tap, drop these down and put, we've got some unistrut we're going to clip along that back wall. That's today's job. We've also got, the lads have already started the outlet. We've got an inlet to take over the top of that as well, but we'll explain about that when we go along. I did actually start this job yesterday, but we had an absolute mare. The main inlet to the digester, it blocked, and we upped the pressure and it burst under the ground. So last night, I was here till 10 o'clock last night. We replaced all this fusion to get the 2 digesters back up and working. But might do that in a separate video, to be fair, because it was a little bit under pressure, as you can imagine. It burst under this concrete somewhere. It was the old Durapipe stuff. It's not as good as the fusion. So we got all this in last night. We do carry all the fusion stuff in stock, and luckily I'd got the fusion weld here as well. That's my threader. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Something a little bit different. I'll try and vary the content. I'm not normally allowed to film on these sites, but I've got permission on this one. We're absolutely sound here, to be fair. So yeah, we've got 2-inch iron. The reason we're not using the carbon press stuff is we have used it in the past. It's because it's rubbish, absolute rubbish, that carbon press. It just literally drops to pieces. It leaks, it drops to pieces, and the reason we're not using stainless is because it would be probably 15 times more expensive on the materials than the black iron or low carbon steel. So even if it will take us an extra couple of days to put it in black iron, but the material price is so much cheaper than the stainless press. It just outweighs itself doing it like that. So that's what we're going to be doing, and as I say, I'll explain some of the processes along the way. But for a start, it'll be a case of getting unistrut on that back wall, and we're clipping all the way along behind that pasteuriser. We'll probably clip onto the side of this green shed, across that one, around here. You can see there's a bit to do. All this in steel, all this in black, across and then into the engine or the CHP. So we'll probably, I don't know how we'll get across here yet. To be fair, I can probably show you in here. And we've got to come off this header. So what I'm thinking, come off one of these 3 inches, because we haven't got any spare ports. So we'll end up putting an extra pump, and I might take him out this back wall. But yeah, I'm here for a couple of days, and then I'm off for a bit, and then we're back. So we'll see what we get to. Imagine this is just like a boiler, and that's just a low loss header. So if you imagine it in terms of domestic stuff, you start to get your head around the processes a little bit. That's all it is. It's just domestic, but just on a bigger scale. To be fair, the lads did well getting that in, because that wouldn't have been easy. There's literally no access around the back of here. Still got to bolt it down. I did pack it up yesterday because it had a little bit of a wobble on it. So the first bit on any job is work out where you're going to put all your brackets and get them all on the wall first. So what we've got is unistrut. We'll end up using 10mm bar and then just these Munson rings. So we've got 5 lengths of unistrut. So we'll cut all these into even sections and get these on the wall, and just clip a flow and return all the way along this back, all the way to that side, I think. And then we can always use, well, they've actually sent the wrong flanges out, sent welded. I can't actually pipe weld myself. My brother can. I'm not a pipe welder, but we can always use, I can pick some threaded flanges up anyway, and we can always use some unions here to split it. But I've put valves on the tank so we can isolate that, or valves on the cylinder, and we'll put another one at the top with an air tap. And yeah, I'll probably put a 2-inch by a 1/2 inch, and then just put a lever valve up there so we can get the air out. So we use a 2-inch T, and then I'll bush that down to 1/2 inch just with a lever valve pointed up. and then all the air will float to the top of that. So yeah, first job Harry is going to be clip all the way along there. I'm talking to Harry because he stood next to me, which will be fine. So we're going to need some bits of bar about a foot. We've got to think about lagging as well. So if we cut them at a foot, that leaves it 3 inches off that nib, so that I think that'll be fine. What we can't actually use the angle grinder around here, and I haven't got one of them fancy I know you can get the ones that fit the jaws for the press guns, can't you? But I just cut them with an angle grinder out the explosive zone. In fairness, you can cut this threaded bar with a recent saw. It's not quite as accurate, but we'll probably do that. It would be quicker with one of them special thread cutter things, but it does the job. And to be fair, it cuts it fairly well. So you can still get, you normally still get your thing on. Yeah, it's not too bad. All this is like giant Meccano set really. It would have been easier if they'd sent me some of them Zebs out for going underneath, but all I've done is cut some washers down. Put some washers down and just slid them through, so they'll be absolutely perfect. Sometimes you just have to improvise, so I could have gone and got some, but ultimately it only takes a couple of seconds to cut the washer down. That'll be as strong as anything. As I say, sometimes it is all about using your noddle and getting over problems. Harry doing a bit of work. So Harry's just starting to get them brackets on the wall now. The steps look like they might slip, but it's trapped in at the pipe at the bottom before anybody says it. So yeah, we'll get them levelled all the way across, and then we can start putting some iron in. All that round on my own yesterday, Harry. To be fair, you've got bigger muscles than me. How much does it weigh? Oh no, it's all full of crap. All the stuff must have run out of it yesterday. It'll be alright. He's alright. That's the flaring tower. That over there. That's not good if that goes off, because it means we're burning gas. It's like the safety valve on a boiler. If you imagine that blows off, or that obviously it ignites it, burns it off. If anything goes wrong in the plant, basically it's like a pressure relief. Think of it like that. Just think of it as like a domestic boiler safety valve. This first section of pipe here, we're going to do it in one, if we can. If not, we'll have to cut it in half. You all right, Harry? Harry's a lot stronger than I am. Beautiful. Do you reckon it needs an extra clip in the middle area then? Sagging a bit on them bars, isn't it? Probably have to put an extra one in the middle. They're better because it's obviously shorter. But yeah, we can bang an extra one in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to double the unistrut up. So we've got extra, oh sorry Harry, so we've got extra supports. As you can see, it's not sagging on the short one because obviously we clipped on that nib, but on the longer ones it is. What you really wanted, like Harry just said, is some triangle supports like they've done on there, but we haven't got any with us today, so So I think, well, we'll see what it's like. Sometimes you just have to get over problems, don't you? You can see it's sagging on the bar. So if we double up the uni-strut, put another piece along, we think it's going to be a lot better. Well, it will be a lot better, there's no doubt about it. If we put extra ones in the middle, it's still going to sag. Right, that's so much better with the extra uni-strut in. Absolutely solid now, so it's not sagging. So just that extra one bit made all the difference. Beautiful. At 6.5 metre lengths, it soon looks like you've done some work, but we haven't really done anything yet. All we've done is put 3 clips on the wall and 1 bit of pipe up, but yeah, that'll be fine. Just lift the other one in. I'll probably end up putting unions here. Yeah, I'll probably put unions there and then flanges there, just so I can break it if it ever goes wrong. And we'll work from this corner then, which will be fine. So I always use Loctite 55 on the steel, well, low carbon steel or black iron, whatever you want to call it. It does say on the tin how many turns you're supposed to do. For 2 inch is 15 to 25, but generally just fill the thread. Not doing that very well because I'm on camera. Always does that. And I always use a little bit of jet blue over the top. Anybody know what I'm doing wrong? Don't tell anyone. I won't say it if you don't. I did order some, but they sent 1/2 inch ones, so we're going to use these. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. As long as you don't split them, which sometimes happens. You can go a little bit tighter. It wants to be tight. But yeah, it's not too bad, that should be all right. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will know what I've done wrong there, but shh, don't say anything. That's the ghost of me holding them in. Harry's doing all the work now. You all right, Harry? Yeah. So with iron pipe, I always put a mark on the face, on the wall, or the face of my fitting. So if I wanted that elbow to finish there, put a line there, because we need to offset past that intake pipe. I've actually got to alter that intake pipe, but that'll be in another video. And then we just measure face to face between the socket and that line, and then we add the thread on after. It's far easier than trying to hold fittings in position. That's how I've always done it, to be fair. We should just be able to get past this pasteuriser with them pipes. It's going to be a little bit tight, but hopefully we won't have to crush it in like they have there. So we'll measure a piece across here. We'll use an elbow, come out this way, and then we'll swing it onto the side of that container, and then we'll clip along there on that container, front of that container, and then down onto the side of that brown shed. And I'll show you how we use the threader as well. Yeah, looking all right. Right, I'll show you my rigid threader. This thing's an absolute beast, I love it. This goes up to 4 inch, so this set of dies does up to 2 inch, and then that one does up to 2.5 to 4 inch. So it goes right down from 1/2 inch to 4 inch. It self-feeds on the oil, so you haven't got to worry about keeping it cool with thread in it. Is it plugged in? You can see it self-feeds itself. Yeah, it's an absolute monster. I'll show you how we use it. So it's got 2 speeds on it. To be fair, on the bigger sizes you only want to be on the slower speed, and it's got forward and back on it. That's pretty much it. So yeah, as I say, it's a fantastic bit of kit this when you're doing out like this. See, I've got a smaller Rems one, but this is just brilliant. Bit heavy, but does the job. And I can't do that one-handed. Just release that. So all you do is spin the handle. It's easier than what they made you do at college, hand thread everything. Spin the handle. It takes a little bit of 2 inch, but I prefer it on the slower speed. The faster speed, it just tends to nearly through anyway. It doesn't take long. So if you put it on the faster speed, I'll show you what happens. It tends to smoke a little bit. You certainly won't want to thread on that. Watch them, they're razor sharp. And then the only thing is, this machine releases a little bit early, so once you get it started, it's supposed to do it all for you. See how it self-lubricates? I hold that down because it releases too early otherwise. I'll have to have a look at it. You want to wait until you get to the end of your thread. See how it self-lubricates to keep the thread nice and clean. Than the old hand guys. Magic, isn't it, that? And then when you release it, make sure you flick the lever all the way up. This bit here. So flick that up and it breaks all the swarf off. And that'll be a perfect thread. Perfect, that is. So it makes life so easy. And then you can actually use the machine to wind your fitting on as well. Just lock your steel sins against the side. Just make sure you don't over tighten it. It just saves a little bit of effort. Just why do it manually when you've got a machine there? So normally end up with a couple of threads showing. To be fair, that'll be blooming tight, that will. We'll run with that. So you can put the machine backwards and it just releases your steel sins like that. So you've got forward and back on this machine, Harry. That's taking it to the next level of laziness, that is, Harry. I think it's quicker to do it manually. You show them a trick lock and then just take it to the extreme. What do they say? Always employ lazy people because they'll find the quickest way of doing something. Send it out. Right, that's got the first sections in. It's slightly tight to that pasteuriser, but everything is through that side, to be fair. So we're just going to elbow, well, we've got the elbows on, we're going to send it across and then onto that container. Up 10 mil, Harry.
Right, it's not there though.
What's that? Is it kicking up on? It's because the elbow's looking up then. It's not bad, is it? Probably not. This is where the socket falls right on the clip. You alright? You want me to come that end?
No, I will.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So it's still down there. Put it.
Sorry.
Cut that bit out, old.
What's that?
Cut that bit out.
Things don't always go right. I let go. Are you alright?
Yeah. I just let go of it. I ain't stopping that.
Which way does the... Just lift that elbow back up, Harry. gone, hasn't it?
That's it.
That elbow there needs to be down now, though, because that's lifted up. Right, that's not like it. So with the iron pipe, you need to make sure you fit into absolutely square, otherwise when you try and thread it in, it just won't line up. We've got that bit in. We decided to cut this in half and do this in two, just because the digester we thought would have been in the way. Yeah, that looks about right to me. So what I'll do, well, we'll get the bottom one in, and then we'll measure to this end with we'll hold an elbow up and measure to the face of that elbow across that side. And it's just started raining now, so don't know how much more footage I'll be able to get. I don't want the camera getting soaked. I don't think it's going to be much, but yeah, we'll see how we get on anyway. How's it looking? It's looking pretty good, isn't it? Pretty banging, that. Well, not bad anyway. Not bad for an old boy. Not bad. It's just keeping everything square and level. Harry's doing all the work anyway. I'm just here to... well, I don't know why I'm here, really. I'm just here for the looks. Obviously not here for the looks, are we? Beautiful, that. Right, we'll work it into that end now, Harry. Does that need a bit more? We're just using tech screws to go into the side of that container. To be fair, they're getting a much better fixing than I thought. Sometimes the tin can be a little bit thin, but obviously we've gone on the fat bit, so hopefully that's braced in. You can see the pipe. But the fixings are absolutely beautiful. We've put extra in anyway, just in case. My saying is, if you throw enough muck at it, something will stick. But yeah, that looks alright. Yeah, the rubber's got to board itself now. I don't know how well the camera shows, but it's raining quite hard. It doesn't bother me, it's just the tools. I don't like, obviously, power tools not getting wet. I'll work in whatever. Got a job to do to get it done, don't you? As with all plumbing, make sure you put air taps at your high point. Ideally, I'd have gone straight across, but obviously I slightly misjudged it when I was setting it out and it hit the door. It's not an issue anyway, because when we get across onto this shed, there's a support on the side of that. So if we can set the unistrut a little bit higher, we probably won't have to put so many clips on that one, because we'll be able to get good fixings where them studs are. So yeah, air taps at the high points. All we'll end up doing is just pushing that down and putting lever valves on, to be honest with you. And then we've got the same on that one, but we keep all the pipes 265 apart for the lag in, and then just set this round here. We're not gonna set it back into that shed and then back out. We're just gonna float it straight across, and I'll make some supports off the side of that, on the side of them girders. And then by the end of this today, we're hoping to get all the way to the end of this one, and then when we come back, we've just got the last bit to finish, break into the engine room and stuff. But yeah, it's going okay. Just a little bit time consuming, but that's iron pipe work for you. But yeah, it looks all right. It looks nice and neat. That looks all right. We're nearly there for today now, I think, because it's pouring down with rain and I'm about soaked. I've just set my laser up to get a line across. I know it's not dead in line with the pipe, but all I've done is measured down to the centre of my clip, and then we've just transferred that across, so they should be dead level across that back side. Then it is always difficult when you're trying to measure long lengths, but yeah, that'll be fine. We're going to put 3 brackets along that shed there. Sometimes I just amaze myself. Look how good that is. We guessed that, to be fair, didn't we, Harry?
Yeah.
Guess works all right as long as it's right. I've still got to make a brace up off that other girder. But yeah, as long as it's in, I just need to Loctite the end up. We weren't 100% sure, but look. Is it level though, Harry? Is it level? It's absolutely bang on that. It's absolutely on the money. Right, we're probably going to end the video there actually. We'll get the top one in tonight. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike. And I might do a part 2 for this if enough people enjoyed it. It connected up all the pasteuriser, so I'm about out of breath. But yeah, that's gone alright, to be fair. Shame about the weather. It spoiled itself, I'm soaked. Yeah, happy with that. As I say, we've got a few bits to brace up. And obviously lag up and paint everything, but it looks alright. At least I've got somewhere to get my cup of tea from.